Stick around. I might be able to teach you a few things.
welcome to Tilt. This week we are picking up where we picked up last week, but we'll get to that very shortly. Before we go around and say hello to everyone, please take a moment to check out all of the links which are being spammed in chat, including places you can find us socially, places you can go and support us, sponsor information. Thank you very much to Major Hand Press and Bird and the Storm Publishing who make this all possible, and a whole bunch of websites where you can get 10 to 15% discount. Before we go around as well, unfortunately, little Cuppa Jess isn't with us today. She will be back next week. Just needed a week off for things. But there's her Twitter and the link there. Oh, I better call Kelly Sam because I called Sam Kelly earlier. Okay, so first let's go to Sam. Did I do it okay?
Anyway. Hi everybody, I'm Kelly, @KellyLane on Twitter, @Kelly in chat. I'm here today, I'm here Wednesdays, on Saturdays, I'm on Wandering DM. I'm excited to be here with you all as we do some exploring in this fine place today.
Teehee. Thank you. Which way around should we go? It's weird because I like to do myself last, but I've put myself in a weird spot. So like, without Jess here, we kind of just have to bounce around. So let's go to Vera first. Oh, hi Vera. Vera was not ready.
I was not ready at all. I'm always last. What is this? Hi, I'm Vera from Vera Says Dragons. I play Ransom Aloysius. He's the grumpy Tiefling cleric we all love and hate. That's it. That's all I got.
Teehee. Well, also, because I'm lost. Ray!
Yay! I'm Ray. With a brick, I play Ipsis. She's our lovely arcane trickster rogue. A little naive, little fun spark of energy, just wanting to help everyone have a good time. And just kind of rolling with the punches at this moment, trying not to die. So we'll see what happens with that.
And today I play Lon's Delight, who is Team Mom. Fighty Team Mom. Not very flirty, but tries very hard, Teen Mom. Don't know why Maritza likes her. We'll figure this out as we go. That's me! And I think that's all of us, Kelly. So if we can hand the narrative over to your wonderful self, that would be rather preferable.
I do believe that Vera is going to recap for us because we've been gone a little while.
So many things are happening tonight. Yes, okay. Do you want me just recapping the last episode, or do you want me recapping everything?
I think we can just do last episode, probably.
Okay, so the last time you guys saw us, we had started out in midnight, the midnight of dusk, and we're just leaving after meeting up with Maritza and her companion to go and find the star. To go and find the star. The lovely Lon's Delight decided to go and try and misdirect the other team who looked like they were going to be doing the same thing. And she was spectacular at doing it, which not everyone was sure she'd be able to do. That's shame on us for not believing. We traveled into the mountains and then began to travel through the mountains until we reached a sort of antechamber where there were the ruins of some sort of temple. In the ruins of that temple, we all took a rest and were attacked by some plant monsters, leading to the first real combat of the game so far, which was spectacular. After combat, we kind of inspected the ruins and found that there were carvings and pictures of faces of people that some of the party knew. Some of the people that were important to some of the party. With that unsettling discovery, we continued on until we made it out of the mountain and then began our descent. And from the top, however, we could see days worth of forest to walk through and could even see where the star had actually landed. Probably the most confusing thing that had happened, though, was once we reached the bottom, well, there was a building, first of all, and second of all, that building was midnight. It's always midnight. It's always midnight. Midnight's everywhere. That's all I got. We got rooms there. There it is. And now we're here.
And I enjoy that finally we are getting to see the true point of the whole slogan. I am pleased. At the very end of last episode, I believe our party just decided to say, screw it, we'll deal with this after a night's sleep. We don't have the oomph for this. And everybody kind of went back to their usual, everybody was able to get back to their usual room. So we had the room with the main crew, Maritza and Marius, bedded down next door. However, I imagine that our party kind of set up a watch shift as they usually do, probably with one person staying up every hour of the night. I'm gonna take creative control here, and Sandor was the last person to take watch. So probably Ransom passed off to Sandor. And several hours later, Ransom will wake up, and Sandor will not be there.
Okay. So he kind of wakes up in much the same way he usually does. It's just one moment he's asleep, and the next he's awake. There's really no adjustment period. Lucky bastard. Like it takes you like 30 minutes. And he kind of looks around and doesn't see Sandor anywhere. Sandor? Did he leave? Oh, hells. I'm gonna lean over and shake Ipsis a little.
Yeah. What do you need? What's going on?
Sandor is not here, so either he went somewhere else or something's happened and I don't like and you know me, I automatically think it's the latter.
No. Maybe he just went downstairs for a drink and found someone to occupy his time. I wouldn't worry too much. There's not many places to go.
Maybe, but still. It's time to be getting up anyway.
And I'll start shoving Lance Delight, who I assume is within shoving distance.
How did Lonsdelight sleep? Did she sleep? No visits or anything?
She would have slept. I imagine she didn't have any notable visits. It was more her usual, kind of somewhat restless.
Feeling like she's being watched sort of thing. Yeah, okay.
Yes, but nothing remarkable. Kind of back to pre-dawn and dusk.
Okay, so she'd probably like spring up once you touch her then, quite on defense. Good morning.
Apparently Sandor is gone.
Maybe he's turning over a new leaf and he's going to get us some breakfast.
That's painfully optimistic and absolutely in character for you to say.
Ransom, you too can undergo this change, you know. You just have to smile a little bit here and there. There you go. That's a good start. Would you like a hug?
No.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Shall we go and see if Sandor is preparing us some breakfast?
Sure.
Yeah, might as well.
Just gonna go.
And you head out. You collect yourselves. You head out. You see Maritza and Marius probably sitting, having breakfast together. Nobody else seems to be around. It seems to be just there are 5 of you now here, and Sandor is nowhere to be seen.
Well, I guess he's not here then. where do we go next? Where would you suggest we look?
Lancelot, why don't you go ask Maritza if she's seen Sandor this morning, and Ipsis and I can find Soren.
I don't think
Actually-
Maritza has shown any interest in Sandor. Sorry, Ipsis.
No, I was just going to say I'll meet back with you to talk downstairs. I'd like to go check out the room again if you don't mind.
Oh, sure, certainly.
Has anyone maybe seen that person that Sandor was so worried about?
Oh, yeah.
We could
Yep.
ask, I know her name.
Soren.
Thank you. I can't just call her Pixie Cut. We could ask Soren if anyone else has checked in. Maybe he's in their room. Again, apparently.
Worth a shot.
Is there a bell on the counter or something?
So Ipsis is running upstairs
Mm-hmm.
back to the room. Scrat, there doesn't seem to be a bell or anything on the counter. As far as you actually remember, Soren just always seems to pop up whenever you're looking for her.
Oh, yes.
But that doesn't happen.
Soren!
Ransom, what are you doing?
I was originally going to be looking for Soren, so I guess I'm with Lancelot.
Okay. So the two of you are kind of looking around for Soren, and you don't immediately get a response. But you could go walk over to Maritza and Marius and ask any questions that you had. But we're gonna follow Ipsis upstairs first.
I'm just trying to head back to the room to see if maybe we missed a note or if there was any sign of where he might have gone.
Roll an investigation. You notice in one spot on the wall near the window, there's a piece of thread near the window that looks like it may have come from Sandor's clothes. It's a similar color. You'll actually notice that sorry. You'll actually notice that the Scrat on energy drinks is going to be an interesting evening. You'll actually notice that the window is somewhat cracked open, which would not have been the case when you went to sleep or when you were on watch, at least.
Then I will just kind of like grab the thread if it's easily able to obtain and just head back downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll meet up with Lons and Ransom.
Who are sitting with Maritza and Marius then?
Yes.
And you probably have time to ask a question or two before Ipsis would actually come back.
Morning.
Morning, Maritza.
Oh, hi.
Have you seen our sword-toting friend this morning?
Not me, Sandor.
The male one.
No, it's just been us.
Has
I don't-
anyone been through?
No, I mean, Marius popped back to the kitchen and talked to Soren for a little while and then came back up front, but she said she might have to go get something. I don't remember. Marius, what did she say? And he's just kind of sitting there quietly. He's like, oh, she just said she had to run an errand. She'll be
So
back.
she's not here at all?
No, She got us breakfast and said she left some in the kitchen for y'all, but there's not been anybody else here.
9 hells.
Not. Wait, Soren's not here?
Not at the moment. She kind of just left us, I guess. Mari's just kind of like,
Fantastic.
Oh. Wasn't that like last night as well when we turned up? Wasn't there just food left out for us?
I think
Pretty
you
much.
saw Soren briefly.
Right.
There was food out for you. She popped in, gave you rooms, and she left again.
I mean, maybe she went to midnight. Not this midnight, other midnight. The
yeah.
midnight.
Yeah.
Maybe dusk midnight or dawn midnight or maybe this is midnight. Maybe we were yet to find midday midnight.
Ransom, roll me a perception check.
Thank God. Where is that? There it is. Not bad. I'll take it.
It's notable that this place, it is literally the same layout, the same furniture. On the surface, this midnight is identical to the other one.
Okay. But if I looked any deeper, like, I tended to sit in the same places. I'd imagine there's wear and tear. Do I notice the same wear and tear as the last one?
If you want to roll investigation, if you're looking very specifically for that, you can. On this perception check, it's hard to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's gonna just... It's bothering him a little, so we're gonna try.
Non's delight is just
Nope.
Google Eyes of Maritza.
Nope. He's too distracted by all of the... Oh god, he's freaking dead in a tree.
Ransom, you're worried about Sandor.
I don't want him dead.
That's a good start.
I don't want you dead either.
That's also a very good start. You care.
Ugh. It's far too early in the morning for this.
Well, as much as I'd love to stay and have a nice breakfast with you, Maritza, I think that the priority might be to find our friend Sandor. He has no doubt got himself into some sort of trouble and may need us to rescue him. Although we've never been around to rescue him before, I'm sure he's quite capable. Maybe we do have time for breakfast.
How about breakfast on the go while we look for him?
And I think at this point, Ipsis will come downstairs.
Anything?
He jumped out the window. Found this little piece of thread hanging from the windowsill with the window cracked open just a hair. So, maybe he just got really kind of drunk and ran out the window for a little bit of razzmatazz. Who knows? I mean,
Oh my god, he's dead
doesn't
in a
he
tree.
do this all the time?
Not
I'm
not
slightly
entirely.
concerned.
He
I mean, if there's no one here, why wouldn't he walk out the door?
when he's drunk, he ends up in fights and he's playful and
That's not
shit.
the
That's
end,
this is not. And
But I mean, Lance does have a good point. Why didn't he just walk out the door if nobody else was here? Why did he jump out the window?
Maritza, Marius, forgive me a moment. You two, can I talk to you over there for a moment?
Of course.
Sorry.
Excuse
He's
me.
gonna just haul them over.
Sorry.
And then in Infernal, this entire conversation is going to be in Infernal. There was something that I knew that I had discussed with Sandor because it affected him that I hadn't brought up to either of you yet. Because I wasn't entirely sure if it would be immediately relevant or important, or maybe I just didn't want to. But here we are. The man... Johann. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
The one that was obsessed with Sandor. He's not a good... I knew him. Not well, not entirely well, but I knew him, and I knew him in a not good way. And the fact that Sandor attracted his attention was worrisome for me.
Okay.
And we ran into him at dusk, in dusk, what, twice, 3 times?
I
Twice.
don't really know. I ran into Maritza an awful lot.
And now Sandor is gone, and I have some concerns about this, because I have been involved in some not very good things in the past. I own them. They were my choices.
We forgive you.
I'm not looking for it, but thank you. So was he, Johan. And that's how I knew him, and I worry that that might be part of why Sandor is gone.
Okay, so why don't you tell us a little bit about what you used to do? Are we talking thefts, assassinations? Are we talking, I don't know, violence?
I didn't take part in the assassinations. That was where I drew the line. But
Okay.
espionage, blackmail, sabotage, spying. I was an information broker more than anything else.
Good. And under what capacity do you think... No, Sandor could only be used as an enforcer.
I don't know Sandor's past. I don't know what he might have done to attract Johan's attention, but the fact that he has it isn't a good thing, in my mind, anyway.
Maybe he just got hired by Johan, and Johan took a liking to him.
It's not his style.
Hmm. Okay. What do we all think we should do?
I want to go see underneath the window and see if it looked like he walked away or was dragged.
This is also what I was thinking, but not for the same reasons you were thinking. I am also worried that Shimmer may be involved.
So basically, all of our pasts are coming back to haunt us, but they all might be coming back to haunt Sandor instead of us directly. Fantastic.
Well,
I mean, I think if
in my defense, I did have a knife thrown at my back, so I feel like that's a very direct correlation to someone's problem with me.
Oh, no,
However,
they didn't kill you, Ipsis. That would have been a real sign.
no, but if Shimmer came and abducted Sandor in the night and nobody ended up waking up and nobody saw that, like, Sandor's not the smallest. So the fact that none of us heard that is a little bit worrisome. At least for me, who is somebody who thinks I'm very sneaky and quiet.
I was very good at my job. Johan wasn't exactly bad at his either. And that involved being very quiet and getting places you weren't supposed to be. And often taking things that I probably wasn't supposed to take.
And remember, the dagger was definitely a warning shot. Normally, you never see Shimmer coming. She's essentially the perfect assassin. I have no idea how I would fight her. She could kill me easy, I'm fairly sure.
Lon's delight. That's not comforting at all. Especially since she might be out to get Ipsis.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just thought we were being really honest and sharing.
Being too honest is my job. Remember? It's the problem you all have with me.
Well,
no. Sorry, carry on, Ipsis. We'll get to your problems later.
I was gonna ask Ransom, if you know information, have you ever heard of Sandor's name or anything that might be surrounded with him in some sort of way to make him a target? Or is he just kind of the innocent in all of this that's getting the brunt of all the action? Do you really think he would have something to do with this?
Kelly.
I'm just trying to smush the words Sandor and innocent together. And it's
Yeah, that
kind of
doesn't
like
exactly go.
trying to put the hexagon block in the square block.
More like hapless than innocent.
Trying.
Duped.
But-
Maybe duped. I can see
That
him being
too.
duped.
Kelly.
So, what kinds of things is Ransom trying to remember?
Johann's MO, and also if he would have heard Sandor's name at any point. If he hasn't put too much thought into Sandor at this point because he hasn't ever really considered Sandor a threat, but at this point,
Okay.
now he's got to think about it.
Okay, roll like maybe it's just like
History, maybe?
yeah.
Hang on, first we're gonna check. Do I have any rerolls? I have 2, just in case. Just in case. Yeah, we're gonna reroll that. Oh my god! Do I want to blow my last reroll? No, we're gonna take it, because with my luck I'll get another natural one.
On an 11, when you're thinking about what you know of Johann, what you know of Sandor, it's not super clear to you if there might be a reason for Johann to catch Sandor. You do recognize Sandor as he's maybe casually given you the impression just by the fine clothes that you've seen him wear and the swagger.
Yeah, he's most likely nobility, but that's more of an infer than anything else.
Yeah, he's got some kind of noble blood,
Mm-hmm.
which would give you a reason for him to be of interest, really.
Mm-hmm.
When you think of Johann, you don't think of him as a particularly adept member of, it's not like he was notorious for anything. But you do remember that he was also traveling with someone else who you didn't really recognize as well.
Yeah.
But it's not like you think of Johann and you're like, oh, he's a key assassin or something like that.
He's not Ezio.
Yeah, no.
But still, Ransom's just not pleased that he's here.
Yeah, he doesn't strike the same fear that, let's say, Shimmer does.
No, he just makes Ransom uncomfortable with the fact that he's around. The only thing that would make Sandor of possible note is that he's nobility of some sort.
I mean, he does have some very fine clothes.
It's his attitude, it's his clothing, it's how he holds himself. It's
He learned
typical.
the sword. How many people learn the sword like that? Without a shield or anything?
Yeah. It's... His teachers, whoever they were quite good, which means they were probably quite expensive.
Not only were they quite good, they were quite bespoke. I've never seen someone be taught left-handed.
I just don't like this.
Thank you very much, Mirror Shadows, who uses their Scratticus currency to give Ransom an extra reroll.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, and Kelly, did you want to gift your reroll to yourself or someone else? Or... You've got less rerolls
Where
than
are
all
we
of
at?
us, so you don't have to feel guilty about taking it if you want it.
Yeah, I'll just take it.
Okay. You paid for it. You do what you want with it.
Yeah. Yes. Sam has been screaming at me in chat from the beginning to give it to myself. So I will listen.
Sam is support and deserves to be listened to.
Okay, so now what?
To the window.
To the wall.
Appropriate.
I'll see myself out now.
Important question. To the inside of the window or the outside of the window?
The outside.
It
Okay.
depends. Is there sweat running down the wall?
No.
Farewell.
Anyway, so the three of you, are you gonna say anything to Maritza and Marius, or are you just gonna kind of leave them there?
I'll head back over and speak to Maritza.
Look at that. Bold.
Yes, I feel that maybe we have maybe more than one potential assassin after us now, and perhaps I should kind of let them know that because, people who are close to us may well get attacked, and I wouldn't like that to happen to Maritza.
If Lons is getting older, is it suffice to say that we already have more character development than season 8 of Game of Thrones? I had to for Vera. It was a gift.
It was for me. I could tell that it was for me, and I appreciate you so much. You will never understand how much I love you.
If you want, though, just to really mess with Vera, we could, in the last episode, just take away all of Lonsdale's confidence again. Just revert back to the start.
I Scrat. I love you to death. Don't make me murder you.
Okay. Back on topic. Okay. So Lons is gonna pop over to Maritza. Sorry, I just saw Ray's comment in Zoom chat.
Maritza, it's Mario, right? Marius. Maritza, Marius, we have to have a little talk. So, we are all a little concerned about Sandor being missing. And the main reason for that, as we may have hinted at under the mountain but not really fully explained, is that it seems that at least 50% of our party, if not more, has trained very dangerous assassins after us. And it's frankly, I know that one of them is my sister, and if she is currently on a contract for me or any of my party, they may well go for our allies to try and weaken us or try and put us into fits of rage, and I wouldn't like that to happen to you. How does this make you feel?
Not great.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd go with concerned.
That's a good way to feel. I'd be worried if you weren't concerned. I'd think maybe you were my sister in disguise. I didn't need to say that out loud. I'm very sorry. I didn't need to say that out loud at all. Did that sound like words? That...
Okay, deep breaths. Okay, so you're saying, for some reason or another, I'm going to assume they're the bad guys and you're the bad guys because it makes me feel, or that they're the bad guys and you're the good guys because that makes me feel better. People are trying to kill you. Maybe.
Well, possibly. I don't like to use terms like good guy and bad guy. I think that's quite naive. I think we're probably all a little grey. But I try to do good.
Well, what?
I just called you naive. I'm really bad at this.
I forgive you.
Why?
What do you suggest are you guys gonna go deal with that? Should we stay here? I'm a big fan of staying here. I mean, based on the party back at the beginning of the thing, if somebody were to try and come in here and beat somebody else up, they might get poofed outside.
Okay. So here comes another piece of information. This one's quite a big one. I might be the daughter of a demon from a hell plane. I'm not sure how much magic she can ignore, but,
Hildy hair.
yes. Like 3 of them. So that's definitely a factor. That it's very possible that perhaps they could dispel the entire pub. I have no idea. I wasn't very good at either assassination or magic.
Okay.
Well, possible things we could do going forwards. We could separate. So that people don't suspect that we are,
It might be late for that.
Yes, if they've been spying on us, very likely. But it's also perhaps a way that might be preferable to you, because if we were to separate, I could lead Ransom and Alesis and Ipsis away to try and hunt for Sandor, perhaps if giving you a chance to go and hunt for the meteorite, because I know you definitely want to do that. That's one course of action. Another course of action would be to keep you under close guard and try to protect you. Although honestly, I'm fairly sure my sister could kill me in my sleep without me ever knowing it. She was very good at sneaking. We could also perhaps dress someone up to look like you and carry them around and then hope that they get assassinated. That's very cruel to the person that we dress
They might
up.
be after me. Oh,
I don't
know.
know. I wouldn't think that they would be after you. I just, extra precautions, perhaps.
This is a lot to take in.
Usually Sandor is sitting behind you telling me if I'm doing well or not. And with him gone, I'm pretty much just speaking. And
Ransom is doing this. Ransom is doing this.
I think this has all hit Ransom quite hard.
I think maybe Marius and I should take some time to gather our thoughts and figure out what to do. So maybe we stay here while you guys go look for Sandor. And
hang on a minute. I just need to test something. I'll be right back. And Lons is just going to get up, walk over to Ipsis and punch them in the shoulder.
I'm going to be really honest. I was switching my headphones. I did not hear that for a second.
Lons is just going to walk over and punch you in the shoulder.
Ow. What was that for?
Thank you. And then she's just going to go sit back down with Maritza and be like, the magic that ejects us from the pub when we fight, it's not working.
oh. Okay, but
Oh, excuse me, my head, where is it? I'm really sorry, Ipsis, I was testing to see if the magic poof was happening.
It's okay.
So this place isn't probably safe at all.
Ransom's gonna walk over to this train wreck now. He's seen enough. Clap both of his hands on Lon's delayed shoulder. Fact of the matter is, most likely, if we leave you for now, you'll be alright, because they're going to go after us if they're hunting us at all. Stop! This one is making me look sane, because usually I'm the paranoid one. I'm slightly amazed by that, but I doubt that whoever is hunting us is going to go after you, seeing as we've only been with you a short time. While it's clear that Ipsis has emotional ties to Lon's Delight, To a viewer, it's not clear that there is emotional ties to you or Marius. However, I wouldn't talk to anyone that comes in if I were you, and I would keep to yourselves.
I really am bad at this, aren't I?
Claps his hand right over over her mouth. Nope. She's, for all of her many, many positive qualities, this one is also slightly doom and gloom, which is ironic coming from me, I understand. But you're going to be fine.
That's very comforting, thank you. I think we're gonna wait here at least until Soren gets back.
Okay.
And you guys can go figure out your stuff. And we'll leave you a note if we decide to leave.
That's entirely fair, and thank you for at least having that courtesy. And he'll take his hand off of Launcelight's mouth.
I really like you.
Wow.
Oh,
She didn't even have to be drunk for this one.
Excuse me. And
Nope. He her right back in the seat. She's not going anywhere.
Lancelot, would you like to challenge that if you want to, and still try to get up?
Yes, definitely.
Alright.
Roll those contested athletics for me.
I don't suppose there's any way I could make it acrobatics, no?
You'd have to get real slow.
Oh no!
You don't even
Chair
have to
breaks
roll
once
it.
the light stands up.
Okay, can he trip her? All I got. Can he trip her?
That'd be the shove attack, right? You could try a shove attack.
Yeah,
How do I do that?
I don't know.
Roll athletics if it beats.
What?
Roll athletics if it beats mine, I go down.
Can it be acrobatics?
I don't think so.
I don't
Darn
think
it.
that's how that works.
Darn it! Hey!
Oh, damn.
Okay, so the chair breaks, the table breaks, the floor breaks.
So basically what happens is this. Ransom tries to shove her back down. She manages to get up anyway. He staggers. She starts to leave, and he just sweeps his leg under hers to knock her to the floor.
Okay,
What
so
would you
that
like us to
happens.
I conjure up Mage Hand and give it a high five.
Lancelot, how are you feeling right now? Ransom displayed you out flat in front of your potential boothing.
You know how like she's usually like a pink to orange? She's more like pink to dark red. Maybe some magentas in there. She feels very small.
And I think as you hit the floor, the table actually bounces a little bit. And Maritza stands up, a little surprised, because what happens is just, it's all very shocking, right? Like, it's just like, ah!
Feels leave down. Yep. Yeah, it seems pretty shocking.
And she comes over and kneels next to you on the floor and like kind of like offers you a hand to help you sit up.
Thank you. And takes her hand and starts pulling herself up.
And she's just like, we haven't known each other very long, but you're very, very sweet. You're very, very cute. But it sounds like you have a lot you need to deal with. So how about you guys deal with it? And we'll be here. Because there's no way I'm going to go wander into that woods with me, and no offense, she looks at Marius, my bardic friend, to try and find this star.
After all, Lons, you're her bodyguard. And now he's gonna just walk back to Ipsis.
And she's
Well-
like, I'm gonna let you guys. I'm gonna go lay down.
I'm gonna go up to Lons and help her up and just pat her on the shoulder as we like turn her around and start pushing her towards the door. I'm assuming.
She starts a march. She starts marching. She falls back into habits.
And Maritza and Marius kind of exit the space. And are you guys heading out the front door?
Marching
Yeah.
off into the snow. Here we go.
And as we are leaving, I'd like to fall back and be the last one outside and cast message to Maritza and point in her direction and just say, thank you for letting her down easy. Hopefully you're still here when we figure everything else out, because she likes you a lot. And then follow out.
And I think you know that the message is heard, but I don't think you get a response.
Ipsis wasn't quite expecting one, just more so of like a parting last message. To try and smooth over whatever just happened.
Lons is like, you might not believe me, but that was good.
Sandor, we need to find Sandor. Let's hurry and find Sandor.
Also true.
To the window?
Near the wall.
I will leave!
And you head outside and your feet crunch with the light layer of snow that's on the ground. You hear kind of the wind whistling through the trees. And it's kind of noisy, the trees. And you head around out to the underside of the window. And you see very obviously you see footprints in the snow. But any more detail and you would have to tell me what you're looking for.
Signs of a struggle.
Roll that investigation for me.
Anyone want to help so we have advantage?
I was gonna say I'll see if there's any extra like fabric hanging, or if it looks like there's maybe some blood, if he cut himself on the way out because he ripped his pants or shirt or whatever. I can
So
help.
one of the two of you roll that investigation and the other one is helping for advantage.
What's your bonus? Because mine's kind of crap.
Mine's 3.
Let's do you. You can do it.
40. So I roll with advantage then?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay, 21. So you see, you don't see any signs of a struggle necessarily. You actually see, you can make out there's 2 steps of footprints coming in from the woods. There's another set of footprints going out. You also see kind of sporadically around the building, a third set of footprints that are much smaller. You might think they're halfling sized. And then you find, kind of if you follow the footprints away from the building a little bit, kind of digging around, looking for what you can find, you find a flask. But there's no obvious signs of a struggle.
Is the flask empty or is it full? Like if I pick it up and swish it?
It's not full. It's not like it had just been refilled, but it's not like completely empty either.
Okay. Well, wherever he went, I was gonna say wherever he went, obviously he left his most prized possession back. So maybe we need to worry about this a little bit more. I thought he never leaves without his flask, and I'll shake it and kind of toss it to Lons.
He was very angry. Sorry, I just punched the mic. He was very angry when I took this from him.
You wouldn't have left without it.
You think he dropped it on purpose?
Maybe.
I mean, how would you tell your friends that something is very wrong?
Yeah, you do have a point.
I would drop my whip.
Good to know. Wouldn't have assumed that. I thought you would have been being really nice to whoever was with you.
That too. Unbearably pleasant. I would say I would drop this, and he kind of taps the coin from Sylvanus that's on his horn. But I would never drop this.
I would shout really, really loudly when they are trying to take me to let you all know.
Good to know.
Good to know. Thanks, Lons.
What about you, Ipsis? What would you do?
I'd probably stab him and then scream. That's my first reaction, is just to stab.
My first reaction is generally to try and subvert, so acting out of character isn't wrong.
Well, either way, so from where we found the flask, outside question. From where we found the flask, is there two obvious sets of footprints leading like away from the window with the third next to it, or like is the third just around the window, or where's the third set of prints?
The third, the smaller set,
Mm-hmm.
it's not tracking with the other two.
Oh, okay.
Looks like popping around, maybe chopping wood, something like that, kind of wandering off, coming back. And those are kind of all over the place. It's a mess. You'd have to probably try to specifically to look at those to figure out the pattern there. But you clearly see the other two sets kind of wandering off into the woods.
Well, I mean, obviously he most likely went this way. Do you think it's a good idea for us to trail off and try to figure out what's going on?
I mean, if we have something to follow, it's our only lead right now, right? Unless we look around here for others. But time's a wasting. If we have a lead, perhaps we should follow it quickly.
Should.
I'm with you there. Then we should probably get a move on.
So these tracks lead kind of away from midnight into the forest. And it is bright outside. It is morning light and it's reflecting off the snow. You can see really well. But the trees are dense. There's not like a clear path that's being followed. You can see that it looks like these footprints are kind of following back along themselves, like they came from one place and returned to another place. But the wind is also ripping through these trees. So I need whoever's trying to follow the tracks to make a survival check.
I could do it.
Okay.
Cool.
I'd like to re-roll that.
Okay.
I'll take that.
And you can follow these tracks pretty far. And in fact, you may even see kind of way off in the distance a couple of things. you see a place ahead of you where the trees seem to start to thin. And even what looks like some more stonework ruins kind of coming up on one side of you. And you're able to follow these tracks kind of all the way up to on top of those, and then it looks like it's hard to understand what's going on here because it looks like they walk right into one of these statues.
What's the statue of?
It's crumpled. It's hard to make out. It looks like it was once a humanoid figure. You can see shoes and clothes. But it's kind of crumpled to dust at the top.
I'm gonna stare at
looks
the
old.
footprints. Stare at the statue. This is not good. Do we investigate the ruins first, or see if the statue's a teleport magic focus first?
Maybe we head into the ruins, see if there's any clues to what these statues do before we just start touching and poking things.
Unfortunately, that is the more logical thing to do. Damnation.
We could just run at it and hope it takes us to the right place and save a bunch of time. We could flip a coin for it.
If you really want to flip a coin, and Ipsis will take the coin out of, like, buried deep in her nest chair. She'll take out the coin. So we can flip a coin if you want.
Okay.
Okay, so heads, we follow Ransom and I's plan, and tails, we follow yours, Lons.
Okay.
One will be heads and two will be tails. I did this earlier today. See if I can remember.
Okay, so we stay and we look.
All right, fair enough. And she'll tuck the coin back in her hair.
Alright.
And I would like to kind of approach the ruins and look for any potential traps, wherever they may be, if any.
Okay.
Smart.
So, as you kind of break through the trees, past the statue, and you actually see these ruins, there's a few things you notice without really having to look. The first is, it looks like there's some stonework here. It looks like there's maybe some more statues, maybe some stonework on the ground. But what you thought were walls are actually like trimmed hedges. They're actually like, it looks like they were once trimmed hedges, but they look overgrown. And it almost looks like you've stumbled on like an overgrown garden of some kind, of like a noble family.
This definitely looks kind of important. What do you think it all means?
Weren't we just saying earlier that Sandor looks like they might be royalty or something like that?
He's nobility of some kind, for certain. I just
mean-
don't know how high.
This looks awfully nice. Maybe there's a third option here in that He also has things chasing him from his past.
It's possible.
I mean, we opened up a fair amount to each other, but I don't think he mentioned anything about brothers or anything chasing him.
I mean,
And Ray, can you roll that perception for me?
Perception. Oof.
You're pretty confident that at least the immediate area doesn't seem to be trapped or anything like that. Again, you notice that as you kind of start poking around, you realize that this seems to go on quite a ways. And there's just lengths and lengths of hedges here. And it looks like some places where there were flowers, there's rose bushes growing, but it's all really overgrown. Like it looks like maybe once it was very fine, but it may be, it's been seasons and seasons and seasons. There's just like an echo of this being what it once was.
It just seems to kind of go on. I mean, it doesn't seem really threatening at all.
Looks like we got a new friend!
Thank you so much for the raid, Tia Roleplayers raid. Welcome, everyone. We are looking for our friend who has gone missing in the night, also known as Little Cup of Joe Jazz.
And there's a clear way in. There's a clear entry space.
So,
It actually
you
looks
want
like
to be
where
a
there
maid?
was
What a
once
fighter.
stonework.
I can show you how to be a shield.
Do we go
Do you
through-
just...
so
Yeah.
we're gonna look. We're gonna be quick about it, and then we're gonna see if this statue is some sort of teleport.
Thank you very much to Praxico Phasmophoria, who has just resubbed. You have a reroll to gift. Let us know who to. Also, Sam, if you'd let us know who that reroll you bought is for, I have a suspicion, but let me know.
So are we kind of entering
I would
space?
say so. I'll go first.
So as you walk forward, who's going first?
Me. I'd like to go stealthily if possible.
Okay, roll that stealth for me.
Your dice disagree.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I can be casual too. That's fine.
I
You
think
do
Ipsis
have
is saying that
rerolls.
No, I don't think it's too much of a danger. I'm gonna save it.
I think Ipsis isn't used to trying to stealth through fresh, crunchy snow. Like every
Yes.
step you take, there's this like crunch, 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 and even as you're trying to like, it's just crunch. And you enter this garden space, and this first section seems small-ish. Again, it feels to you like it may have once been very grand, but now it's just like there's places where there's kind of trees falling over. In the center of this, you see the ruins of a fountain with some figures on top. But that seems to be it. There's nothing here that's jumping out of the bushes at you. And so you can stop and take a closer look around, or you can keep going in further.
I would like to try and inspect the water fountain to see if there's any like runes or language or depictions on it to kind of symbolize what this temple may have been for at all.
Okay. You can roll a history instead of an investigation for me. As you're looking at this fountain.
I'll re-roll that one because I want to know if there's anything going on. Okay, cool.
So the first thing you notice is kind of at the base of this. You just see this big kind of circle, and then you can tell it's a fountain because there's like a something in the middle and like a statue on the top, right? And it looks like it was once a pit, but it's cracked and crumbling and it doesn't hold water anymore. But you see a date on the bottom, and it's dated something like 1,000 years ago. Given the date, it's actually pretty spectacular that this looks as intact as it does. And you can also make out that there are 2 figures on the top. They're humanoid, but it's hard to really make them out. Their time has worn them away. But you can see in between them. So they're kind of like this, and you can see in between them, they're holding on to a set of scales that seem perfectly balanced.
Hey, come check this out real quick, and I'll kind of reiterate that I see the date and like point out the statues with the scales. And do you think this has anything to do with the fact that we've been switching between 2 worlds or something?
Would make sense, but normally scales like this tend to have something to do with justice and the like.
There is a lot of ice in the snow. But not just ice.
There's like little pebbles and grass pieces in there too, right?
I'm fairly sure this is made of granite, not ice.
Oh.
Or something like
Well,
that.
either way, I mean, this is pretty old. Some weird stuff going on here. I wonder why it's abandoned.
I mean, it can't be that abandoned. We just saw some people come through, didn't we? Didn't we?
Well, yeah, but there still seems to be nobody here. Nobody to keep up with it. It's 1,000 years old.
It's been abandoned. The reason why is unclear.
I mean, if it's that old, it could be a number of reasons. Maybe they got wiped out, or...
But who is they?
Why did no one reclaim it? But the thing
Mason,
I'm most
do you think
interested...
I was gonna say, do you think it was maybe some temple to a different god or something like that? Or do you think it was, like you said, maybe something of justice? Maybe some sort of law-abiding temple?
Maybe.
Or something?
Maybe it's something to do with the scales.
So the scales are definitely important. I'm just trying to ascertain if it's the balance of the worlds, like you said, dawn, dusk, our world, this one. But there are more than just 2 worlds, so I wonder if that would mean it only has weight with those 2. Or if it does have something to do with justice. Do I have detect magic? I don't know, actually.
Whilst
I
you're
don't know
doing
how
this, I
clerics
think
work.
Lon's Delight is gathering a snowball.
Oh no. No, I did not have... Oh! Ooh, hang on a second. I might have something.
Feel free to let me know who that snowball is aimed at whenever you're ready.
The scales.
Oh no.
Oh, interesting.
I want to see if I can tip them.
Great. Do you remember that spell I cast when we were still in the town of Dusk? The first night, when I asked a question and did a reading and got an answer.
Yes.
No, this was Ransom actually talking to them.
Oh. Yes, I remember this.
I'm glad.
Yes. I
Because it took me a
remember
second to remember it, so. I could try that here with this, see if it would do anything. Or we could just...
Lonsdale throws the snowball at one of the
Oh.
sides.
Oh, gods.
It's not the biggest snowball, it's probably only about as big as our head.
That's a big snowball!
A huge snowball.
Roll something.
We're all gonna die.
Given the size of the snowball, you can choose if you want to do like athletics or just a dex for this.
Seems
Oh
like
my-
a shot put to me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So much strength, so much power.
And you
No, no.
you hit the top of this fountain, and it knocks these statues off the top, and they hit the ground and they shatter.
Launch the light!
They've
Can I re-roll for more accuracy?
you're throwing this giant thing.
I meant like on one of the scale platforms, like, you know, like a weight.
You're throwing a large mass of weight at a crumbling ruin of a fountain.
Okay, yeah, I
Launch
can.
the light!
Well, it's the quickest way to find out.
And while it breaks, nothing magical happens.
Ipsis is gonna get on her knees and just say, I am so sorry. I don't know whose ruin this is, but I am so sorry. She did not mean to do that. Please do not spite us.
Come
Oh,
on,
good
Ipsis.
God.
And you
Gods.
hear, Ipsis, while you're talking, you hear a little voice behind you. And it's just like, I mean, things break around here all the time, but you guys are very late.
Spinning around!
And kind of floating in the air, flapping tiny wings, is a little pixie.
We're what?
Is that a harpy?
That's not a harpy.
What is going on?
You're late, and 1, 2, 3. 1.
We're missing one.
Yeah, you're missing one.
Did they perhaps come through here, little harpy thing?
Pixie.
Pixie. Oh, is this what Soren's haircut is named after?
Yes.
Oh, I never knew.
I mean, there was some people that came through, but not everybody gets to visit the garden, and we're just here because Tristan's really nice. But you guys are late.
We weren't aware we had an appointment.
Because Tristan is really nice?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he's very, very nice. Do tell us all about him.
I mean, his chunk of the garden's at the far end,
Oh.
because he's the new one. Well, they're the new ones, but he's the one that really talks.
The new what? Gods?
Competitors.
Competitors?
For what?
The
For
star?
what game?
The gods' games.
The vision.
Vision?
Remember that dream I told you about?
We can't have a Marvel crossover. Copyright.
But you guys are late.
Okay, so we're late. We apologize. Can I ask you, are we late because we are participants or spectators?
You're the people that are supposed to make it stop.
The game.
Yeah,
What is
it's taking too long.
what's the game?
I mean, it's just a game.
But what are the rules? What are the terms? What's the prize?
It's a game that they got that. what's her face and the other what's her face. I don't really remember. I don't do this all the time. They pick people and they pit them against each other, and then at the end, like one of them gets to win, right? You know, it's a game, right? So there's a winner and then there's a loser. But nobody's losing.
What do you mean nobody's losing? How is that possible?
I don't know. I just know that you guys are supposed to fix it.
Is there somebody else maybe we could talk to get a little bit more information about what's going on? Because I'm all about stopping the game, whatever it is. Maybe that'll be fun. But I really don't know what's going on, and I don't know who you are, and I don't know what the Gods games are. So I feel like we need a little bit of a refresher course, a little bit of 101 intro class, something to get us knowledgeable and up to speed.
You just said a lot of words.
Is there someone else that you could lead us to that's maybe in charge?
I'm Sparkle. I'm the queen of the pixies. I guess that makes me in charge.
Your pixiness.
I think it would still be your majesty.
That doesn't seem proper.
Ugh.
I don't know. I just live here. I mean, we just live here. And you see out of the back a bush kind of like shakes and sparkles a little bit, and you see a couple heads poke out.
Fantastic.
Are these more pixies? Do I need to start getting something ready? Hand on hilt.
They're more pixies.
Okay.
Little teeny tiny heads.
So, we're supposed to stop the game. Do we just run in and kill everyone, or something else?
I mean,
we can't kill gods, and if it's the gods' game, that's a bad plan.
Gods aren't that. Well, maybe they are. We'll see.
The contestants, maybe, though.
Maybe we just make someone lose.
Well, maybe she can lead us to Tristan and we can talk to him for some answers.
Is he here?
That's what she said.
I mean, they're building their section of the garden now.
We should probably head to them now, then.
Is the garden sacred or something? I'm confused about the relevance of building a garden. Is this part of the game?
It's
Do we
a
need
game.
to just steal their soil and then they won't be able to build a garden and then they lose?
Well, they're building it by magic, so I imagine that they would just poof more soil in, I think.
So, if they're building a section of the garden for them, was this someone else's section? A former contestant?
Yeah, it's who you just knocked off the top of the fountain.
Were they important?
I mean, they were contestants. Of course they're important.
Are they still contestants?
No, one of them is dead. They lost.
Okay, so no longer important.
Lon's
And I mean, this section of the garden was from a long time ago. Like, I wasn't here for that. That would have been like 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or 12 or 15 or something. I don't know. It would have been a long number of generations ago. I don't know. We've all, I mean, huh?
How the hell long has this been happening?
I don't know. I just live here.
He kind of looks at Ipsis and Lancelot and then says in Infernal, so I'm pretty sure that my dream was about either the start of this game or the start of the games, but I'm not entirely sure.
We need to talk to Tristan, or at least find somebody we know who we feel comfortable in trying to ask what's going on. This is freaking me out.
Don't you think that us speaking like this might freak them out also? Lancelot is just imagining these pixies just hearing us suddenly turn to you and be like, Flash of the thunder!
He looks at Sparkle and then looks at them. Does that look freaked out?
I think we'll be okay.
And then in common, could you take us to Tristan's section of the garden?
I can. I mean, I can point you there. I mean,
Is it right for
We
the
would
queen
be-
to do such things? Maybe you could give us just a little escort or something.
yeah,
I
I
may
can.
have. I was gonna say I may have an idea.
Okay.
How far away from her pointing does it look like his section of the garden is?
You can't see it from here.
Okay, so just so visually, is the gate tall that we walked into, and there's the fountain, and then she kind of popped up next to the fountain?
Yeah, so she kind of so you walked into this space, there were some lower hedges that looked like they've been grown over and stuff. There was a kind of a stone slab and maybe some half beaten up pillars that you walked through that looked like it would have once been an entryway, but it's not standing anymore. And then you enter this garden area, and you can still kind of see over the hedges here, and the fountain's in the middle. But if you keep looking further in the direction that she keeps gesturing, you just see taller and taller hedges. It looks like newer and newer sections of the garden, and so it's just kind of a mess of stuff in front of you. There's not like a clear line of sight.
I don't think it'll work, and I'll kind of like hop up as I'm saying that to try and see if I can get a line of sight, but if not, then I'm just gonna never mind. I thought I had an idea. Sorry.
Do you have any suggestions on how we should stop the game?
Well, carefully.
Carefully is not an
Okay.
answer I was expecting.
Do we need to kill someone?
I don't know.
How have people in the
Wow.
past stopped the game?
It's funny, you know,
I haven't
when
needed you guys in the past.
when I said it, it felt so
The game-
natural. But when you said it, Ransom, that sounded really cruel. Maybe we shouldn't be running to murdering people at the first pot of call. Says Scrat, desperately trying to cling to non-murder hobo-ness.
This is Ransom Chaotic Neutral.
So in the past, the games they end on their own. Somebody wins and somebody loses, and so it just kind of ends, and then everything is fine. But the two of them just won't end it.
Does the loser always die?
I don't know.
As far as you know.
Yeah, that's what I've been told. But I don't know. I mean, who do you go to for information about something that happened like a long time ago, right? Like, it's just stories.
A
Tristan
librarian.
gets really sad sometimes, and he cries, and he gets sad about the idea that one of them might have to lose.
Yeah, we need to talk to Tristan.
I just be careful, because if you just go barging in, they don't all agree on everything. You know, the like gods, they like fight amongst each other, and you just yeah. I like to stay in my bush.
Okay, so we shouldn't stroll into DMX is what they are suggesting. You know,
Probably
the
a bad idea.
tiefling band.
We appreciate the warning.
But really, you guys should have been here a really long time ago, because this just keeps going on and on and on.
How
No
long
one
ago
told
should
us.
How long ago
And
should we
on-
have been here?
Huh?
How long ago should we have been here?
Before now?
But like 1 generation, 2 generations.
I mean, last week would have been real nice.
Last week? Okay, that's good. That's all I needed to know. For a second, I worried we were tied up in prophecies.
Monstelite,
Yes.
from the experiences in the cave, from the dreams that we've all seemed to be having, from the one that I had, we are.
Oh.
I hate to break your dreams there, but we absolutely are at this point, and I've just given up. Like I said, we're the gods' playthings, and here we go again.
You mean you think they're just treating us like some game up there? Just rolling dice and determining our fate?
I mean, if only we were so lucky. We might be able to get some answers if we play our cards right at this Gods game. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk to one or a couple of them. Because we're still not even sure how this all works. They could be here with their champions. We could ask our own questions, try to understand what is all going on. Sparkle, was that your name? And I'll kind of turn to the pixie. Do you just wait out here for people, or what do you do around here? You said you live here. Okay, you live here, but what do you do? What do you and your pixies do?
We eat and we sing songs and we fly around and we play catch. And we sometimes bother the pony.
The what?
There's some residual magic further along. There's a pony.
Just does the pony happen to have a horn? Just wondering.
Is the pony real?
Would that make it like a teeth phony?
No, that would make it a unicorn. When one says residual magic and pony, those two things tend to track.
But if it's got horns, then I feel like it's some kind of tiefling. We should call it Tiffany.
One.
Can I answer your question now?
I'm very sorry for interrupting you.
It's got a big horn like here.
Mm-hmm.
And like some things like this.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a pony.
I'm just going to turn to Ransom. I'm at a loss. Do we go into the garden, or do we try to find this pony now?
We go into the garden. We have questions that need answered, and we also need to find our missing party member.
Right.
Or did you forget?
You say that there's only 3 of us. Does that mean the 4th one has not been in already?
Footprints we're tracking here.
I know, but
no.
they're meet and greet. Maybe they've seen.
If you saw them again, would you be able to tell us if they were past you or not? If they came past here?
Are you muted?
I think you might be muted.
Oh, no. I'm not.
Oh, it just didn't pick you up for some reason.
Oh, that's weird. Maybe? I don't know.
I'll cast disguise self and turn myself into Sandor just for a quick moment. Did this person come through here at all with anybody at all within the last couple of hours?
Do you sound like them too?
I don't think so. Let me check real quick. I have it in here.
I think that's just changelings, isn't it?
No, I think your voice stays the same unless I try to mimic it. But I physically look like him, up to 1 foot taller.
I mean, nobody's come into the garden besides Tristan and Tara and what do they keep calling her? Ariel. The three of them came in to the garden, but I haven't seen anybody else, and they're down there dealing with their thingy.
I'll drop it and just kind of look to both Mons and Ransom.
Still concerned that that statue is a teleport.
I mean, if you're not supposed to be here, like we don't just get like random people that pop up, right? Like we don't even get like a random fox that pops up. Like if you're not welcome here, you don't find it. You don't see it. You don't smell it. You don't find it.
That's good to know.
Fantastic.
It's magic.
I like the way you said magic.
I like to have fun with everything that I do. It really relieves a lot of stress.
I can tell. It seems so relieving.
What do we do?
I don't. I'm nervous. Perhaps we should head down and go and speak to Tristan and Ariel.
And we can play with the pony.
Sure.
Does anyone know what this
Yeah.
pony actually is?
I don't know if I want to find out.
I imagine we're going to, whether we want to or not. Let's just go, because hopefully the sooner we go, the sooner we have answers, the sooner we find our freaking wayward drunkard.
You guys are really late. And
And
at
fair.
that, you're going, oh, Scrat's gonna miss it. I'm gonna keep going anyway.
Oh boy.
As she says, like, you guys are really late, you feel the ground shake beneath you, and you see in one of the hedges one of these tears again.
Not again.
And
Oh,
through it,
jeez.
Ransom, this is like a city you recognize, you've visited before. It's not anything particularly notable.
Okay.
But you see as the tear is happening, you see that there's also a shaking happening there, and you actually can watch through this hole as some of these buildings are collapsing and people are running and screaming.
Oh no. Oh dear.
And it
Oh.
closes again.
Is that because of the game?
I told you guys you were late. It's taking too long.
All right, we need to move.
And I'll just start following Ransom.
Whew.
And me and my pixie voice need a great deal more water. Oh. So as you continue through this garden, you enter the next section. But just before you enter the next section, you come across two more pedestals that look very similar to the one of the statue out front.
Mhm.
These two pedestals, one has a figure still standing on it. It does look worn again over time. So it's hard to make out the person there. And the other one, you don't see a figure standing on that side. Instead, there is a crumple on the ground next to it of broken stone as you pass into the next section.
So, Scrat, you missed a mini earthquake and a tear into the realms of reality, showing a city that Ransom had once been to that was also having an earthquake and buildings were crashing, and Ransom's like, well, time to move.
Nothing relevant then.
Uh-huh, sure.
Okay. Was that our ransom?
Yeah, our Ransom just recognize the place through the crack.
Oh, right, we're looking for Sandor, not Ransom. That makes so much more sense now.
Yes.
I sat down really quick, you confused me.
Sorry. Sorry.
Okay, so Ransom. What was that?
Well, that was a city that I've been to once or twice, or I don't know, a couple times. And it was we were having an earthquake here. And there was an earthquake there. And Pixie said it was because of the game going on too long, so we really need to get a move on.
Is that your hometown?
No, thank every god I don't. If I had just seen my hometown, I would already be leaving, like, away from the tear. I don't want to see that place.
Okay, is this a place that you are fond of?
No, not particularly. It's just somewhere that I know.
I feel like there's some emotions here that you're not processing.
I don't like the fact that the things that are happening here are also affecting other places. I don't like that it's because of a game that we're seemingly embroiled within, and I don't like that I don't know half of what's going on, and I'd really like answers.
We should probably get a move on then. We're wasting time.
Walk and talk, walk and talk. So when you don't know what to do, how does that make you feel?
Why are we having a therapy session?
I'm just concerned for you, Ransom. I want to, look after you.
I look after myself just fine, but I appreciate it.
Oh, sweetie.
That was slightly condescending.
Slightly.
Can I make a perception check while they're talking to see if I see Tristan anywhere?
Sure.
Cool. Just since we're walking and talking.
I like answers. I like to know things. I don't like to not know things. In my line of work, not knowing things meant you ended up dead.
But are you still in that line of work?
No.
So then what's the problem?
It's not a mindset you come out of. And it's not one that I exactly like or want to come out of. It's served me very well.
To make you mean to everyone?
No, that's just my personality. Knowing answers doesn't make you mean, and needing to learn doesn't make you mean.
But coming in and helping your friend when they are flailing and trying to talk to someone that they really like, that's not mean.
Connection is dangerous.
Okay, so you don't like to be connected because of your previous line of work which you don't work in anymore.
No, I don't like to be connected because of other things, but that line of work certainly cemented it.
I feel like we've made a good start today.
I don't regret my line of work. There's nothing tragic about it. There's nothing harmful about it. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't leave it because it was bad for me or because I didn't want to do it anymore either.
Good. Why did you leave it?
Because staying in one place became dangerous for me. And dangerous for my family, I guess, because Sylvanas is family to me.
Oh, Ransom. Would you like that hug now?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Maybe later. In all honesty, I miss it. I miss being the person that knew more than anyone else in the room because it was my job to do so.
So what's stopping you from doing it again?
Well, currently I'm embroiled in the game of gods.
So know more about the game of gods than anyone else?
I'm trying. That's why I want answers right now.
But you keep moping and being miserable. You should be going out there and doing the information gathering thing.
That's what we're doing!
No, we're
I'm not moping and being miserable when I'm investigating everything we run into.
Okay.
And I'm not moping! I'm not moping. Someone has to be actively sad to mope.
You seem pretty sad to me, Ransom. That's why I keep trying to check in on you. I'm just concerned for you.
I know you are. You're very kind-hearted. It honestly scares me a little because kind-hearted people end up getting chewed up by this world. You and Ipsis both. But I don't begrudge either of you for it, but I'm not the same. I'm hard corners and sharp angles. I've always been.
Okay.
I like who I am, even with the rough edges, even with sometimes me being a bit of an ass.
Okay. That's okay.
I'm honest and I don't mince words. There's no point to it. There's no logic in it. If I'm going to say something, I'm going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
If that's going to turn people off to me, then maybe they're not people I want to be involved with in the first place.
That's exactly how I am. You remember at the tavern? I told Maritza everything.
I know, you told her too much in one go. But you did good. You did good in telling her how you feel, at least. That's brave. Honestly, it was impressive of you.
This isn't about me though, Ransom. Are you okay now? Do you feel better?
I wasn't having a problem. I'm
sure?
worried that our companion might be dead. I want to understand this game. I want to know what's happening so that we can put a stop to it. But I'm fine.
You do care.
Yes, damn it. Despite myself, despite every instinct telling me that I shouldn't, despite knowing that I shouldn't, I care. Are you happy?
I am so happy, Ransom. And it makes you stronger. It's brave of you to care.
I'm not saying that caring about people is weak. I'm saying it's a liability. It's one that I am not really able to afford, so this scares the hell out of me.
Which is why it's brave. If it wasn't scary, then it wouldn't be brave.
Can we please just get this done?
Of course. But this is living, caring about people. That's life.
Yeah, well, when it backfires on all of us.
Hey, then we die. We had good innings. We had fun. We loved.
Sure.
I'm going to just pocket that hug for later, but I will be claiming it. You said later.
Fine.
Come on.
Can Ipsis be this focus of the next therapy session, because I'm exhausted now.
Oh, Ipsis has had me for years.
I've done it all. And I just like call that from in front of them, and I'm like hopping and just trying to like look past things and people or whatever might be in my way, trying to like just see what's around.
See how happy
I'm very
she is.
distracted though, apparently.
She's so happy.
And I think you actually have a little pixie kind of sitting on your shoulder, looking behind you, watching this happen, but like letting you like lead the way. Like of the she's like, yeah, keep going.
I think at one point I would just turn and be like, "Hey, are you okay? Do you need? Are you good? Are you comfortable?" And then just like, oh, "Okay, all right," and just keep like searching around and looking and kind of getting distracted by like, I don't know, flowers or whatever else maybe around, because I'm apparently not too perceptive at the moment. Yeah, I don't see him. Does somebody want to help me find him? Are you two done back there?
I mean, I can look.
Anything would help at the moment.
So in this next section of garden that you are walking through, you see that it is very delicate almost in the way that this section is put together. You can see more left over, like more of what used to be here. It definitely seems somewhat newer. You can see more woodwork or more stonework. There's like fountains tucked away in corners. Many of them on one side of kind of mothers and children playing. You see one section that actually looks like kind of a mosaic on the tiled, like a mosaic tiled ground that has an image in it. And you can stop and look, or you can continue to go. As you continue, you will come across another set of statues. Is there anything anyone would like to look at or look for before moving on?
So should I not gather a snowball this time? You're muted, but I heard the no resounding clearly.
You're muted, but I heard you anyway.
Good. I was gonna say Ransom would look for like identifying features, but honestly, I think he's a little shut down, so no.
I'm a little distracted as well, I feel like, with the pixie and just kind of like the overwhelming beauty and grandeur of it all. I feel like I would just keep walking.
And I feel like Ipsis, you're actually enjoying this section because it's bigger and somewhat fancier than the one before. There's a lot of nooks and crannies and kind of hidden spaces here that you can kind of pop in and around. Nothing that you'd actually really get separated from everyone, but like little pockets.
Can I just do a really cool like perception check just to see if I find anything exciting in any of these nooks and crannies? Or just like any markings or anything?
Yeah. Go for it.
Not looking to see if there's anything that tells me anything significant, just trying to more so look at the beauty of everything and see if there's any like hidden features to it.
Okay. You find a couple, like I said, you find a couple pockets of places. You find a fountain on one side that has a very ornate kind of carving all the way around the outside of kind of mothers and children playing. On the other side, what you notice is it seems more harsh over here. It's a lot of sharp edges, a lot of geometric shapes, not a lot of stories, and so it very much seems like kind of the right side of the garden was by one person and the left side of the garden was by another.
Cool.
You do, however, as you are walking past, kind of heading out, since you are taking the lead, you immediately notice the statues. And you see again, the statue on the left has been crumpled and broken. The statue of the right, on the right, is of someone that you recognize. And it is very clearly Mantra.
I'll just kind of go from these nooks and crannies and kind of like having this overwhelming, joyous look on my face of just like wonderment and curiosity to kind of following the path towards the statue and just kind of like stop and just stare up at it, like arms to my side, like kind of immediately drained. And I'll like kind of wave a hand back to get Long's delight and Ransom's attention, but just kind of like not say anything, but just kind of like wave and point. That's Mantra.
So she was a
And
contestant.
I didn't know that.
I can't imagine she would have told you. Maybe she couldn't.
I still don't even know what type of game this is, what the whole point of it is. I mean, even if she did tell me, maybe I wouldn't have understood it. But the fact that she keeps coming up when she hasn't been in my life for so long is still so eerily comforting. But I have so many questions.
Hopefully we're going to find you answers.
Well, what do we know so
Answers in
far?
general.
They are building gardens.
We know that the gods have some stakes in this game. We know that many, if not all of them, have a hand in it due to the dream that I had. We know that we're supposed to be here and supposed to stop it due to the pixie and the words of my own patron. We know that Tristan and someone else are the players, most likely the figure that was in his story. The golden one.
Well, when we met Tristan, he said that not that he owned everything, but didn't he say he ran everything, that everything was his?
Yes, his power ran everything.
So if he's a new contender, or if they're just building his garden, what other types of people are there? Are these like patron people, or are these just powerful figures? I'm not seeing the connection between the competitors and the god's game name. Because he wasn't a god, wasn't he?
Maybe he was chosen by the gods, or maybe he entreated them to enter the game. I think it depends on what the stakes are. What do you get if you win?
What if you get ascent into
The divine.
the divine? What if that's what that means?
That's what I'm afraid of. Although, did Mantra seem divine to you?
No.
Okay.
By all my account, nobody in the guild ever respected or paid any patronage to any deity, except for maybe the ones who in secrecy, devoted their lives to the evil ones, or ones about trickery and thievery, but they did that on their own time and never really made it public. It wasn't very popular. This, to me, is kind of offbeat, even for Mantra.
Sorry, that was a very loud I wasn't going anywhere with it.
If Mantra didn't seem divine, then maybe clearly she's the one who won. Her statue's still here, and she's alive. So, it's probably not ascending to godhood, but it must be some sort of power. Otherwise, what's the point?
Right. I wouldn't see any point of entering some sort of high-stakes game
that was literally designed by the gods.
Right, unless I knew I was getting something great in return. But even then, would coin be enough?
No.
Do you think it's power and coin? Do you think it's godliness? I don't... That's so much. How are we just hearing about this now? This has been going on for thousands of years.
There are many things that we will never hear about, if only because we're never in the right place at the right time, or because the people who might wish to tell it are silenced.
Well,
we didn't know dusk existed.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, didn't even know dawn existed until we found it, until we stumbled upon it.
I didn't know it was always midnight until I found midnight.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a midnight here.
Well, we can only keep going and hope we find the end of all of this and can get back to midnight, because even that place seems more welcoming and comforting than this right now. And I'll walk past Mantra's statue and just keep going.
And as you head into the next section, this one seems even larger. You can't see above these hedges. They're reaching tall above you. The pathways themselves are much wider. And unlike previous ones, this doesn't seem to be as decorative. There isn't like decorative fountains or things like that. Instead, you see a lot of things that appear kind of broken and trampled down. You see a lot of topiaries. One of which blinks at you. And then you hear, before you see anything, a thudding on the ground.
Oh no.
And you hear Sparkle go, "Pony!"
Oh no.
I'm immediately gonna stop dead in my tracks.
Yep.
And you hear like a sound like a panting like of a dog, like but it sounds big.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And as you look ahead of you, you see ripping around a corner, actually kind of taking out a chunk of bush, kind of sliding on the snow and then turning to face you, a very large topiary of a triceratops.
That's not a pony. That's not a pony.
That is definitely not any kind of pony or tiefling.
I immediately try and
And it
hide.
comes running at you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get out of the way and like hide.
I'm just gonna dive out of the way.
Lancelot just turns to Sparkle and says, "What do we do now?"
You say hi!
Okay.
So who's diving out of the way? Roll those acrobatics or dex saves for me, whatever.
Dex saves, okay.
Um
Doesn't matter. It's the
Roll
same thing.
acrobatics.
Doesn't matter. It's the exact same for me.
Cool.
I
Cool.
have fear. So much fear.
and both of you
So afraid.
there's like two kind of like hallways that split off the main one basically, and each of you is able to like pick a side and slide back. And Lon's Delight, are you just kind of standing in the middle here?
Hi.
And it comes bounding towards you and then sees that you're not moving, and it like backpedals and slides on the snow and like slides to a stop and reaches out its head and boops you on the face.
Oh. I headbutted
And-
back, which I imagine is quite friendly to a Triceratops.
and and as you do that, it like does the thing where it like goes down on the front two legs and like sticks its butt up in the air and wiggles, and it's like
I'm going to scratch its nose.
well
Oh my god.
Oh, we need to find you a stick. And I'd like to uproot a tree.
okay,
I think I'm strong enough. We'll try this.
sure.
Just a small tree. Oh yeah. Oh, not like a redwood or anything. Just like a little.
Yeah,
There's got to be
like
like a little.
like a decorative like there's probably some trees in like little decorative pots that are like cut into like triangle shapes or something.
Oh yeah. Do you ever watch Asterix and Obelix? I could just Obelix this.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Sure.
So there was the little guy and a big guy, and the big guy used to carry rocks and just throw them, and that's anyway. Look it up, it's good fun. I'd like to grab one of the trees by the pot and be like, huh? I did it. No.
Roll a strength check, I guess, to see how well you check this.
Could I maybe call it a javelin and go for athletics? Huh?
Sure. It is javelin-esque.
She's playing fetch with an enchanted plant.
And you manage to kind of take this and javelin throw it pretty far down the hallway, and the Triceratops stops and like looks at you and looks at it and looks at you and then turns around and runs after it. And Sparkle's like, see? Pony!
So that's
Triceratops.
I told you that we play with the pony!
Triceratops.
I think its name is Pony Ransom.
Oh gods.
Like you're a tiefling, not a ransom,
Mhm.
unless you're held captive and used for monetary gains.
No.
That gets confusing really quickly, but I think its name is Pony, like your name is is Ransom.
Sure.
We named him Pony because we ride around on him through the garden.
See,
That's
it
fair.
makes sense.
That's fair.
He's
You
one
just
of
see,
the
like.
Is he the only
Oh
one?
no, I was just gonna say you just see Ipsis like sizing up the pixie and then like sizing up the Triceratops and being like, what do you hold on to?
loose leaves.
Oh,
We help
They don't,
maintain
like,
him
rip
and help
out?
him keep his shape. Well, we help him keep his shape so he doesn't like grow out.
It's easy to keep hold of a well-trimmed bush.
So he's still growing. He's
At
still
our time.
alive, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, there's some little bits of residual magic here and there. He's definitely the biggest bit, though.
Fascinating.
well, okay.
We should probably
It's a
keep
bit
going,
weird.
though.
He's been gone a while. I wonder if he could find the tree.
If you look ahead, it looks like he found it and then dropped it and got distracted by something else. He's like sniffing what looks like a bunch of pixies that are playing with him, but he's just up the road, basically.
Oh, he's having fun. Let's not disturb him. We can carry on. Wasn't that nice?
That was honestly kind of adorable.
You're
Very
getting soft,
interesting.
Ransom.
No! Starts walking.
Sorry, Ipsis, I didn't hear you.
Oh no, I was just saying this is all really interesting.
And as you start to kind of walk away, Pony kind of notices you leaving, and he kind of stops and like at one of the pixies that like flies back. Looks like a game that they regularly play, and then he comes chasing after you, and you feel the thump, the thump, the thump, the thump of the ground as he comes up behind you.
Here we go.
Hello, Pony. Do you know things like sit?
Oh my god.
Down? Let's go for a ride. He's big enough.
An enchanted plant has no business being this cute.
Come on, Ransom. Let's get on board.
And he takes his horn and bonks you in the back, Ransom.
Alright then. You turn around and just kind of pat the horn. Believe it or not, big fellow, that was a compliment from me.
Lonsterlight's gonna climb on its back.
Okay.
I feel like that's a bad idea.
Are you all getting on?
Ipsis is like doing one of those like bracing herself on absolutely nothing and like moving one slow step at a time and hesitantly touching it. 'Cause this is by far the biggest animal she's ever seen.
This thing is massive.
Yeah, this is by far the biggest animal at anything that she's ever seen. Will it crush us?
Not if we sit on top.
Okay, fair point. And I'm gonna like pat it and like attempt to like crawl up like its back leg, I guess.
Yeah, you can find perches to scramble up.
I guess Ransom joins them.
Lonsterlight
Okay.
will position herself near one of its ears.
And I think Sparkle kind of stops flying and kind of sits instead kind of in the nestle of one of the like head. I don't know the technical term. I don't know my
Frills?
dinosaur
The
physiology.
Place.
Yeah.
Yes. He kind of sits there and is like, takes some of the like vines and kind of like, yeah.
Oh boy.
And everybody roll me a dex save, and this
Oh.
has to be dex.
Oh no.
I did better than Ransom, so I must be doing well.
Eh.
And you all managed to ride Pony along, but it is not a very comfortable ride, especially not for you, Ransom. I think you tried to find like where you would actually ride like a horse,
Mhm.
but it turns out that was kind of like a peak in the back of this Triceratops, and so you're kind of bouncing around, kind of trying desperately not to slide off the back.
May I very quickly give everyone disadvantage on their checks? Their next check? Because I'd like to whisper into its ear, which I positioned myself near. Squirrel! Where's the squirrel?
Yes.
Thanks.
Let's have everybody do this again, as he doesn't know what you're talking about. But you've said something in an excited voice, and so now he's like trying to like look behind, and so he's like shaking.
How did my disadvantage do better? That just figures.
Tee.
And instead this time, Lonzo, like this doesn't go very well from you, because as he's whipping around, he actually is like whipping around his head, and since you're so close up front, you kind of start to like fall off of his neck.
Oh dear. I look forward to when it decides what a squirrel is. Can I just, like, I don't know.
You can just hang there.
I'll just hold on. This is fine.
Okay. And Sparkle goes, yeah, again, and he kind of takes back off and is kind of rampaging through this section of the garden all the way to the far side. And you notice that this garden is a lot longer than the last one. Before you were walking through in a couple minutes. This is like a couple minute ride to the other end. But Pony very, very suddenly slides to a stop at one spot. And you see he sits. And Ransom, with your very delicate perch, you definitely slide off the back of the Triceratops onto your bum.
That's fine. He just kind of sits there for a moment, sighs, and then gets up.
And he kind of looks to one side and to the other, and you see that you've reached the spot of this garden where there's those two statues again.
I will let go and drop to the floor.
I will climb off as well.
And Lon's Delight, you will be able to just kind of drop. Ipsis, you have to kind of scramble off. And Pony's just kind of sitting there like... And
Ransom's gonna pat his side.
But it's very clear like he's not gonna go any farther.
Ipsis, do you see Ransom?
I do.
They're caring.
I can hear you.
I'm just gonna wait.
How are you, Ipsis? I haven't spoken to you in a while. You okay?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm actually having a pretty good time. I have 1,000 questions and I don't know where we're gonna get back home. But, you know, this is really cool. I just rode on the back of a Triceratops.
That was pretty cool.
And we may never do that again, so, yeah, that was nice. How are you?
Let's look at these statues.
Good
You should
dodge
just walk.
there. How about you answer the question?
Do I recognize these statues? I think this one is Elysius.
Who?
Ransom.
Oh boy. Yes.
You do recognize in this case the statue that is still standing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks like one of the, it's newer, it's really put together, it's really clear still, and it's one of the faces, it's one of the people that you saw on that big
On the
wall in the temple.
Is it the one that Sandor seemed to react to?
Yes.
Remember the wall that had all the faces in the first rune?
Mm,
Remember
yeah.
how Sandor got real quiet and almost tense after looking at one of them in particular?
A little bit, yeah. Is that who it was?
This is the same face. I remember it.
Oh
Like
boy.
Like I said, information collection, kind of my thing. Remembering it, kind of important. I remember this face and I remember how he looked at it. So your past and his past are both tied to this game.
Well, if we keep going, we might just add 2 more names to that list. So, let's hurry.
I didn't recognize anyone on the wall who played this.
Well,
So I wonder if there's a commonality in that, because you and Sandor are here and supposed to stop the game, and you both have links from the past to it, whereas I don't think Lon's Delight or I have ties here. You didn't recognize any on that wall, did you?
I don't think I did I? No, I don't. No, I just get haunted at night instead. It's not the best trade-off, to be honest.
Not really, no. Unfortunate. But I wonder if that's part of it. There were scales of balance, right? And then 2 worlds, which need to be balanced in some sort of way for us to have been tilted into one. And then 2 members of the group meant to stop it that are tied to it, and then 2 that aren't. It's just interesting. And then he's gonna look. We should probably keep going, though.
Ipsis will just like kind of follow, but look at the ground, kind of like at her feet. A little frustrated, but follow.
And as you continue on, this next section is entirely different than the ones before, because it's growing around you. You feel like this space is alive, whereas the other ones, the only thing that seemed to be living were the pixies and the pony. Here you see the 2 halves of the space are ginormous. You can actually watch as rose bushes on either side begin to bloom. You can see the walls grow higher and higher in response to each other. See it kind of one side is lagging behind the other. You see spaces where the stonework just appears on the ground in front of you. And again, on one side, a fountain appears, and on the next, a larger fountain appears that is more intricate. But overall, they seem evenly matched. And unlike the previous sections where it felt like there were 2 different people doing this, there is a beautiful symmetry to this space. Where the sides flow together almost, and they don't feel quite so disconnected. And you can, as you walk through and are surrounded by this growth and this brightness almost, begin to hear some voices ahead of you.
Familiar voices?
Yes. There are plenty of spaces where you might be able to listen without being seen, because there's plants and bushes and trees and flowers everywhere.
Perhaps we should listen before we go rushing in.
Like, this wouldn't even occur to Lonsterlight, so she'd almost be like getting ready to head towards and turn back and be like, "You mean eavesdrop?
Don't sound so judgmental.
Ransom, that's not very nice. They might have secrets."
That's kind of the whole point.
Good
Well,
lord.
and I'll just like take Lon's, like wrap my arm around hers, just be like, come in this little cove with us just for a
It's
second.
okay.
We want to
If
see
you
if there's
want to
anything weird
eavesdrop-
going on before we start problems.
I won't stop you two from having your fun. I just, I feel a little guilty.
Again, this was my job. I'm gonna listen.
And you recognize at least two of the voices. One of them is Tristan. The other is your guide from the mountains, Ariel.
Oh shit.
And the third voice, you don't recognize. However, does anybody here speak Celestial?
Shit, where's my languages? Do.
I do not.
Nope.
No one does.
That was a mistake.
So instead, everybody roll a insight check.
Oh shit, I have that on disadvantage still.
That's fine. I just take the one on the left when it rolls both of them.
Okay.
Ipsis, you are distracted. There is, in fact, kind of in front of you, actively, some like violets blooming, and they keep changing colors. And it's super, like, you're just like so distracted by what's going on that you're having a hard time kind of focusing on the conversation.
Maybe also partly she's still holding Lonsterlight, right?
Yes.
But Lonsterlight's like trying to crane in.
But Ransom, you are used to overhearing and trying to understand people even when you can't understand them. And there are a few things from this conversation that you can pick up. The first of which is Ariel seems resigned. It seems like she's playing mediator between these two. But she also it's kind of like when it's like, when two of your close friends are fighting and you're just like, whatever, I'm gonna try and just keep this as managed as possible and deal with it.
Okay.
The other two seem to be arguing very passionately, but there's not anger or aggression behind it. It's like they're arguing something that they both believe very strongly about. And they just both seem very passionate about whatever they're talking about.
Mhm.
And it seems like they're not getting anywhere. It doesn't seem like they're making any progress.
Mhm.
And then very suddenly you hear the woman's voice that you don't recognize
Mhm.
say something that it sounds like she's like cussing. It's kind of like, oh, fuck it. And you cannot help but notice that on one side of the garden behind you, everything all at once bursts into bloom. And there are flowers covering every surface, everywhere. And they actually shift in color, and you can watch as they kind of change from shades of purple kind of flowing through to shades of pink to shades of red, kind of sliding across, almost as like a wave of color across these flowers that are all blooming. You would know that these flowers are all different types of flowers, but they still seem to have these coordinated, like almost color show that's happening. And then both sides stop. And they stop kind of growing and shifting and changing. And everything kind of freezes, and the voices stop talking. And you feel a rush of power.
Probably now. Just saying. Kind of looks at them both.
Lon's delight was completely lost in that wonderful scenery for a second there. She's going to need a nudge to get going again.
He nudges.
As Scrat was. What are you asking us to do? Go and speak to them?
You know where they are.
Yeah.
You think. You don't hear them anymore.
Mhm.
They were talking very loudly.
Yeah. He's gonna go towards where they sound like, at least. Cautiously. And
How far?
he's not getting too far from these two.
Are you trying to do it sneakily?
Not
or just
sneakily,
cautiously?
Just cautious.
Shall we call out?
Mm-mm.
But they made not like a surprise.
Either way, we're a surprise.
A pleasant one, perhaps. Maybe we can bring a
Hopefully.
welcome. Let's pick some flowers.
That's a bad idea, probably, seeing as they're the ones growing the flowers.
But everyone likes flowers.
But they're the ones creating the flowers, and we would be killing their creations.
We have to give them something.
Honestly, I don't think it's that type of meeting. Maybe for next time we'll gather something for next time.
And as you turn the corner, you see kind of a clearing open space. You actually see something you've seen before. Way back at the Festival of the Fallen Star, you'll remember that you saw this kind of magic translucent dome covering these two figures and this celestial being in between the two of them. You turn the corner actually just in time to see this dome cover kind of snap into place all the way. And the rush of power that you feel as you look is Ariel shifting into this celestial form. Where she was standing is now this winged creature with that staff with the amethyst on the top and these scales.
I think we should call out, We accidentally banished her from a cave that she wasn't supposed to be in.
Well, it seems to me she's fine now.
Uh-huh.
More than fine.
Uh-huh.
This is a lot.
Uh-huh.
Shouldn't we say
What-
hello? I've never
What do
seen
we do?
anything this pretty.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna have
Hello?
to follow.
And
Be
Do you
real,
see-
there was no stopping her.
Tristan turned to look at you, and this other female figure turns to look at you. But the celestial in the middle seems very focused on what they're doing. And you watch the scales tilt back and forth. And you see them tilt in favor of the tiefling woman. And as that happens, you see the statues behind them, one of the tiefling woman and one of Tristan. And you see Tristan's begin to crack.
Oh dear.
Oh no. Did I distract you, Tristan?
And the orb of this translucent orb kind of disappears.
Did I break the ritual?
The celestial transforms back into Ariel and looks at the two of them and kind of shrugs and disappears.
Ariel.
You see the tiefling woman kind of look at the two of you, and then she says something much more aggressively this time to Tristan and Celestial. It seems like she's berating him for something, and she's looking at you guys and she's yelling at him, and he reaches out a hand towards her as she's doing this, and she snatches hers away. And you see a door form, and you recognize that she's cast Dimension Door and pops away from him. And Tristan sits hard on the ground and kind of with his head in his hands.
Lovers quarrel?
We should go and comfort him. Tristan, are you okay?
Does it look like I'm okay?
Not even
No.
remotely.
Where's the other one of you? We're supposed to be
Good question. We were hoping that this might give us answers since his footprints led to here, but clearly we have none of those. You knew we were coming?
I knew you'd catch up to us eventually.
Did you know it was us?
And it looks like he's taking a long moment to think about that. And you see him start to try and speak. And he can't get it out.
Let me guess. There are rules binding you to what you can and can't say.
Well, perhaps we don't ask questions about that, but we cannot speak Celestial, but it seems obvious to me that you are upset. Are you okay? Would you like to speak about it? You don't have to. We can just be here and support you if you prefer.
Have you ever been asked by someone to do something that seems like the adventure of a lifetime?
I can't say that I have.
I mean, chasing the Starfall thing is probably the closest I've got to it. But mostly because of Maritza, if I'm honest.
Well, if you ever do find yourself on the adventure of a lifetime, ask yourself why it seems so perfect.
You were asked to play this game, and it turned out to be something rotten.
Asked is a loose term.
Beguiled. Tricked.
And Lonstrike just like beckons to you, like, a little too harsh, a little too harsh. It doesn't matter. So when did it start going wrong? Can we
And
help?
he looks back after where the tiefling woman disappeared. And he goes, it went very wrong and very right very quickly.
Oh,
You care about her very much.
your heart is full like Ransom's.
But I think by now you guys know how this is supposed to end.
One of you is supposed to die. Why?
Because sometimes when you're asked an adventure of a lifetime, you're just a pawn.
But what's the end game? Really, we can't even know that.
I can talk about what you already know.
Sometimes,
Great. I'm not going to get any answers here. Fantastic.
sometimes a person can feel like they are being used or that they are a pawn when they forget that they have choice. You are not some block on a board to be moved. There's always choice.
Monsterlight, that's not always true.
Sometimes the cost is dear, I admit, but it's true. There's always a choice.
Choices are hard.
Sometimes there are no good ones, and you have to decide what's the least terrible.
Better the devil you know.
The least terrible for who?
Your statue is cracking. Does that mean that you're losing?
Day.
How long
Was
does
that-
it take?
It's hard to say. Mostly if one of us needs to be clearly superior.
Is it a fight to the death? Or how is a winner decided?
I don't think you can tell us that.
You care about her. But does it matter if you win or lose?
Either option is the end of it.
For you.
Can I insight check him?
Yes. Are you doing just a standard insight check? Are you doing your hostile assessment? Are you reading his mind? You've got so many options.
I know. Ransom. Goodness, I built a good character for this. He's already done his hostile assessment of Tristan, and he knows that Tristan is a threat with a capital T.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't be that, and Ransom isn't currently interested in reading their mind.
Okay.
Ransom more wants to know how genuine this is. Like,
okay. How genuine he is about his feelings?
Yeah.
Okay.
And about whether or not he's unable to tell things.
Okay. Roll for it.
I'm looking for where insight is. There it is. Is this worth a reroll? I only have 2 left. It's probably not. I'll let it go.
Chat is benevolent. I'm sure they'll give you more.
I don't. Yeah, I'm
You've
gonna.
gotten more. You've gotten more today.
That's true. Might as well. Yeah, I'll take that. That pleases me.
I'll say you do feel like his feelings are genuine. This seems like a man at great conflict with himself. He seems very sure of his feelings and almost equally sure as his confusion as to what to do
you want
now.
to be a mage or a fighter? I can show you how to be a shield.
He also, however, it's hard for you to tell if he's not saying things because he doesn't think he should say them, or if he's telling the truth about not being able to speak. You would know that it would require a great deal of power, but you also know that the gods are at play, so no holds barred, kind of. But it's hard to tell if he's actively deceiving you. Even in the things he's saying, he's not being very upfront. It's hard to tell if that's because he can't say anything or if he's just guarded.
Okay.
Thank you, Tater, for the 88th sub to the channel, which I believe means we go back in time.
What?
We hit 88. But it's to Vera, and Vera, I guess that gives you your reroll back if you'd like that.
I will take that. I will hoard it like the jealous dragon that I am.
Of course.
Okay. Okay. Not gonna say anything.
Is there anything that we can do to help?
There are stories of people who are chosen to help.
I guess that's us. If you can't give us answers, where can we get them? We don't know enough about any of this to stop it.
This is a good point.
There's got to be either somewhere we can talk to, or someone we can talk to, or somewhere we can go.
What happens to those who already successfully go through whatever trials they have to? The statutes that we passed, what happens to the winners of those?
They are rewarded, each in their own way. Usually keeping one of the gifts the gods have given us to play the game in the first place.
And that explains the powers that you displayed over the festival.
I feel like we've got a lot of pieces of the puzzle, but we just need like an edge or a corner to get started.
I feel like it's more that we have the edges, we don't have the core of it. We see things from the fringes, the outside, but we haven't yet seen the heart of it. And that's what we need to be able to make sense of all of it.
There are places here where this happens. And he gestures behind him.
The growth of
The
magic.
The competition grounds. Dusk is one. Here is another. I don't know where the next one will be.
So one of you has to kill the other. Or is the death incidental?
You... There are opportunities for direct duel, which you have seen some of, I believe.
Yes.
In other cases, one may try to push themselves too far to outdo the other.
And extinguish themselves.
What about a tie? A mutual agreement between both parties to draw.
I thought that's what we were doing.
She disagrees.
She has reasons. Good reasons.
We all have reasons.
Would you like to...
Doesn't much to the people that get hurt in the crossfire.
Soren may be able to give you more.
It always goes back to her, doesn't it?
It's always midnight ransom.
I think, well, first we need to find our fourth, and then we need to get everything we can about this practically engraved in our bones so that we understand it.
Tristan, do you need a hug?
No. Thank you for the offer, though.
It's okay to seem human. I'm not forcing on you, I'm just... It becomes you.
Are any of us here really human?
I was about to say. How
You
about
know what I mean.
it's okay to seem
Humane.
alive?
Why do all of the vocabulary go back to human? Humanity, humane.
Self-centered species.
Seems that way. It's okay to seem... Well, actually, no. I can't say it's okay to seem a little bit devilish, because that's...
He's also an ASMR.
Well, yes, but, you know, I was thinking of me, and then I thought, well, actually, no, that gives some sort of, you know, other implication, something sort of mischievous.
It's okay to seem like you're alive.
I suppose that works. You don't have to be an angel all the time.
I fell from that a long time ago. It's like, I couldn't use a hug, but maybe a hand up. And he takes your hand, Ransom, to help you pull him up, and you immediately feel the scar on his hand of this big circle.
Mm-hmm.
And he stands up and he brushes himself off. Goes, I can try to get a message to you about where the next one is.
That would be appreciated.
Best of luck in finding your friend.
We need it.
Don't
When I
give
think
up,
back-
Tristan.
before you go, is there a time frame on your decisions or when the outcomes of whatever this is need to be determined? Do you have a time frame, or is it just whenever they end up getting worked out?
There's not a clear answer to the time. It's just what ending comes first.
Makes
Well,
sense.
let's hope it's all for the best then. The endings are only good. As good as they can be.
I don't know if that's how it works in a game like this.
Well, if we're here to stop it, then maybe we can impart some of that goodness.
We've got a lot of learning to do then. My favorite. For once, I actually mean it too.
And I think on that note, we will end the episode today.
So much plot development.
My
So
poor
much
ASMR boy.
So many
So much-
feels.
So much character development.
Oh my. Can I get a
Lon's-
hey?
Lon's
No.
Told Maritza she likes her.
What was she thinking?
I'm so proud of her. Also, I would die for Ipsis. I'm just putting that out there.
Oh. She's
If we-
just trying to look on the bright side in every single situation.
We don't deserve her.
No.
She's gonna get crumpled and crushed in Left 4 Dead, and it's gonna completely change her as a human being. I
We
know
are
it's gonna
not leaving
happen.
her for dead.
I know it's gonna happen. It's just, I know it. I can feel it in my bones.
We're not leaving her for dead. I am hurt and offended.
Not
I
you,
would like
not
to-
necessarily you.
I would like to just throw out there to everyone that I do believe next week is mid-season.
Oh,
Episode 8.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Wow.
everyone, on that closing sentiment, please take a moment to look at all of the links as the bot spams them in chat. All of our social links, places you can find us online, places you can support us, places you can find information about our sponsors, Bird in the Storm Publishing and Mage Hand Press, and also a lot of places where you can get a 10 to 15% discount on their websites. This was my favorite episode of the season so far. Thank you so much, everyone. Until next week, we'll be doing more Tilt on Monday. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST, we'll be running Nightborn. Until then, keep on evoking emotions, and we will see you next time. Bye.